Now for a quick Devar Torah. On Shabbat, we're going to be reading the Book of Ruth. And it's interesting that of all the things to read, Ruth is what we read on Shavuot, because Ruth sort of ties everything together that we're celebrating with Shavuot. Shavuot, remember, besides it being the anniversary of us being at Mount Sinai and receiving the Torah, it is also the holiday of the harvest, one of the first holidays of the harvest, the Katsir. So in other words, and the Book of Ruth has to do with all this. It also is the anniversary of the birth and the death of King David. And that ties in with Ruth because, as we know, King David is a descendant from Ruth. That this is, it's very interesting that if you look at the Book of Ruth, you see a lot of things going on. First of all, you see that how the Jews are following the laws concerning agriculture. That Boaz allows the poor to come in to glean the fields. That this is, that he considers it natural. It's a normal thing. It's sort of like there's a lot of things we do that we consider normal, but we had to be trained to do them. Giving tzedakah, giving charity. We put money in the pushka and all that. We consider it normal. Not everybody is like that. And that Ruth also makes the declaration to Naomi. Like Naomi's husband leaves the land of Israel because of problems within the land of Israel at the time. That there are problems going on socially. He decides he's going to go to Moab, of all places. But because he went to Moab, one of his sons married Ruth. And Ruth, it turned out that was a major blessing. Naomi keeps trying to tell her, you don't have to accompany me back to Israel. I'm just an old lady, I'll be taken care of. And Ruth says, no, I have to take care of you. And then when Naomi finally gives her the ultimatum, she says, listen, where you go, I go. Your people are my people, your law is my law. And that ties nicely to Naseh v'Nishma, or we will hear and we will do. In other words, Ruth, without knowing what Jewish law is, basically agreed to convert, just as the Jewish people at Mount Sinai agreed to receive the Torah without us knowing everything in it. That we agreed to do all these things. So, and then of course the Book of Ruth ends with the lineage of David, King David. That Ruth is the, great-grandmother of King David. By the way, that makes it for the thing that the house of David and the old Yankee Stadium, what they had in common was they were both the house that Ruth built. But besides that, the point is, this is why we read the Book of Ruth. It ties in totally with Shavuot. And we have to remember that in a certain sense, we're all Gerim, we're all converts. We're all converts at Mount Sinai when we receive the Torah. So, and the Torah is not only what we believe, the Torah is what we do, not just religiously, but economically, socially, etc. Remember that in Israel at this time, there's a group, they don't call themselves religious, dati, they call themselves Torani. They're followers of the Torah, of how Torah affects their everyday life, economically, socially, politically, etc. And that's how we should begin to approach it. Something to think about.